All right, man. We in here with the one and only Big Skies. What's going on, big dog?
What's going on with you, my man?
How you feeling, bro?
Feel rejuvenated, refreshed, man.
Yes, indeed. Hey, man. Welcome to Topflyght TV.
Thank you for having me.
It's an honor to have you in here. I've been watching you throughout the years, and you got a lot going on. An amazing story, man. So I wanted to have you in here so we can chop it up.
Word.
So we just gonna get right into it, man. First question, man. Where you from, man? Where were you born? Where were you raised? Where you come from, man?
So, well, first off, thank you for having me here, man. You know what I'm saying? I really appreciate the opportunity and everything. And congratulations to you for Top Flight TV, man. You know what I'm saying? So, but as for me, I come from, it's more or less a military background. So I was born in Colorado, it was Fort Carson, Colorado. But I consider where you grew up at is where like you're coming of age, teenage years, things like that. And for me, that was a place called Okinawa. It was an island called Okinawa, Japan.
Okay.
So my dad was stationed there in the military. So we were there, I think 4 years, something like that, I believe. But that was like the height of the teenage years, kind of, sort of. So I consider myself, and then we basically traveled like every 2 years. I've been to Germany, Alabama. We stopped in Alaska, Japan, you name it. I mean, like Germany 3 or 4 times, Arizona, Maryland. We were going to go to Hawaii, but that didn't work out. Dad ended up retiring. So like a military brat, you know what I'm saying? Proud military brat.
I thought you was from there all your life.
Nah. We came here in like 95. I came here in 95 when I was in the 10th grade and I was playing varsity basketball over in Okinawa and varsity volleyball. I was a volleyball champion all 4 years. Yeah. Yeah, you would never, I had no clue. If you only knew how I got started, it's a long story, but I had no clue I was good at volleyball as well. But then we transferred over here to Fort Ritchie, Maryland. So I ended up going to school over here in Waynesboro, graduated in 97. And then, yeah.
What's Waynesboro like?
It's like a little haven, man. You know what I'm saying? It used to be, everywhere around here, people say about 20, 25 years ago, man, that town racist as fuck. You know what I'm saying? Oh, my bad. Can I curse, man?
Wait,
Yeah.
Just not too much.
Yeah. I ain't trying to do that, but yeah, they like that. Man, this town is racist, so it's like, back then it was a lot of that going on. But as the times went, times changed. The new generation, it's a lot of mixed kids, and it's like surpassing that. So it's like a nice little haven. It's like a nice little place to raise kids, man. Country, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
Definitely not. You don't have to worry about, there's not a lot of crime, none of that stuff like that. You know what I mean? Pretty safe place to live.
Did y'all as like teenagers come to Hagerstown a whole lot? Or y'all just stayed in Waynesboro, did y'all own thing?
Nah, well, I stayed here in Waynesboro. We did a couple things here in Waynesboro. You move to a new town, you kind of get to know it a little bit. Then I ended up having a son, having my first child, and I got a job in Hagerstown. And then that's when I transitioned into Hagerstown. I was around like 99, probably the beginning of 99, 1999. So yeah, that's when I ended up loving what I was seeing in Hagerstown. You know what I mean? At the time, cruising the dual highway was the thing. You know what I'm saying? Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, that's when you had Barracudas. There was a club called Barracudas up there. Yeah, and then just cruise the dual highway, man, and get some nostalgia. You know what I'm saying? Some too fast, too furious type. You know what I'm saying? Like it was like that. That was the thing. Parking in the parking lots, everybody up and down the dual. That was the thing. Barracudas. Barracudas. Yeah, Barracudas. But see, a lot of people don't know about me and Hagerstown. The younger generation don't know my connection to Hagerstown when I come out here. I got a deep connection in here, Hagerstown.
Yeah.
Yeah.
All right, so hey, look, I want to ask you, I know you through music for the most part.
Yeah.
What was your first album? Not just hip hop. What was the first album or hip hop album that you fell in love with, that you bought, that you purchased, that changed your life, that made you really want to do music?
Lil Wayne, Lights Out.
Oh shit. Okay. Okay.
Lil Wayne Lights Out. Lil Wayne Lights Out. It was it. I think whenever I seen Wayne when he said and I got witnesses that can attest to this because you would bait music all day, but we was on the corner of Locust and Franklin. It was that little shop right there. It used to be called Town Pizza, and this is when Juvenile came out with Back That Ass Up. You know the song. Yeah, he came out with that, and then no one knew who Wayne was. All they heard was after you back it up and why drop it like. After I heard that, because I'm coming from a different space and time. We coming from Japan where things is a little advanced or whatever, a little bit. I told everybody in the block, I was like, that right there, he's gonna be the greatest rapper ever, I swear to you. Just based off of his voice, how he look and how he sound, something was just telling me this kid is amazing. And then he drops Lights Out, which was, I think his first album. Then he dropped The Block Is Hot after that, I think. You know what I mean? So I was a Wayne fan. I was seriously a Wayne fan.
Hell yeah, Hot Boys. Yep.
Yeah.
So next question. When did you first start rapping? So you got the inspiration.
Yeah.
You got the first album that really turned you out was Wayne, right? So when did you say, look, man, I want to go ahead and start doing my own music?
Probably 3 years old, 4 years old.
Oh shit, okay.
Yeah, my dad was in the military and he would get up every morning. We didn't have alarm clocks. He would he had a wheelbarrow and a stick and boom, boom, boom and all that. We got used to waking up though at a certain time. So he would be in the bathroom playing all the blues, the BB Kings, the Minnie Ripertons, all that, and he had a Jerry curl. He used to be in there forever, just getting the Jerry curl tight, music blasting while we sleeping. So you sleeping like this, you know what I'm saying? Like, okay. So I just caught on to it, man. I soaked all that up. I believe it came, my dad it's like, I don't know, the music scene, and then you move somewhere overseas where I was, and it was like they was ahead of their time, and I kind of felt like I knew what great music was. But at the age of 3, man, I started rapping. But when I knew is, to be honest with you, it's all I ever knew, man. So I would say at the age of 3 years old, that's when it was serious.
Yeah.
Serious.
All right. So as far as Hagerstown is concerned, when you were out here, matter of fact, forget Hagerstown.
Yeah.
What was your first studio? First project you laid down in the studio? Where was the studio? And what song? What was that like?
Man, what was the first? Okay, so are you asking what's the first studio I ever recorded at?
Yeah.
Okay, so that probably most likely would be right over here where Franklin and Locust is, right up before the city hall. It was a studio connected to that down in the back, and I live right there, right next to it. 2000.
Okay.
About 99, that's when I transitioned to Hagerstown. Yeah, in 2000. And they were called Quattro Studios.
Okay.
Yeah, Quattro Studios. And the irony about this is that there's a guy that I work with, and shout out to him, his name is Kenny. And when he saw me, he was like, do you remember me, yo? You came and recorded at my studio. So it's his studio. And this is like 25 years later.
Okay.
And we just ran into each other like a month ago, and we see each other every day.
Yeah.
So it's crazy. It's like that's the first studio I recorded at. The first studio I laid a project. I don't know, because when I came here, I kind of did my own thing, created some crews. I had a couple crews. Then I started looking for the best. I realized that, okay, if I'm gonna do some stuff, I don't want no mediocre. You know what I mean? I can't worry about this and that. I want to get the best. So I started messing with studios like, there was a dude named JJ Mob, RIP JJ Mob. You know what I mean? He would bring the studio to the crib. Shout out to Jay Shuttles, FaZe Fam. Shout out to all them, the Carries. I used to go to their house and record, and then it got real serious whenever I ran into Sean Singh Dip from Too Hot Too Heavy. Yeah, me and him they called us that we was the Kanye East and Dr. Dre. We was they. I ain't know that, man. It was a straight like 4 or 5 year run straight, like killing things back in the day in Martinsburg. They had the club called Club Zero. They had all these, you know what I mean, legendary The Tunnel, all that kind of stuff. So we was, yeah, it got serious around there with Too Hot, Too Heavy. That's when we started releasing projects. My first project was called The Sky's the Limit. And I laugh when I think about it because I remember, you know what I mean? Like I overdid it. I really overdid it. Like 25 tracks, like a lot of samples, a lot of overdoing it. But it was just the fact that the project was just, it was really special because it didn't take me long. It took me like a month to do it. So, and I released it. And I wasn't playing around. I just kept releasing and releasing and releasing. And then I moved on to, from there, I went around to Marley, Out of Sight Music. Rest in peace, Marley. One of the greatest to ever. I'm telling you, if he was still here, it's amazing. This guy wasn't just an engineer; he was hands-on. You know what I mean? Hands-on with it. So, yeah, I went to him, messed around with him for about 3 years, and then me and Dirty Phil, we started messing around as far as studios go. This Dirty Phil, and it's been that for like the past 13 years.
Yeah. So what made you slow down with the recording and pursuing that dream? Were you pursuing that as a full-time thing? Is that something that you wanted to take all the way? I know a lot of artists, they got this dream of being big. They got this dream of taking it all the way to the majors and being nationally known. Was that something that you wanted to do?
I always knew something was gonna come out of it.
Okay.
I always knew. I was different. I was completely, my mindset in school, growing up, how I grew up, I always knew it was going to happen. And when I mean going to happen, something come out of this feeling that I had about music. What was the question?
The question was, did you want to go all the way with music?
Oh yeah. Oh
Did you
yeah.
have that
Yeah.
in your head and your heart
Yeah.
that you was going to take it to the top?
Yeah. I definitely did. It's funny because you try to figure out where it's leading up to. I got to the point to where I got tired of dealing with, I was making so much music and putting it out, and I was like competing with myself. And then I got to a point to where I just said that, I kind of sort of want to be behind the scenes of this. You know what I mean? I don't want to be in this limelight, because the name Skies was getting it was a name by that time. You know what I mean? And it wasn't no secret. I accomplished what I needed to accomplish. I handled my business, did great business. I don't think anybody can tell you that I did any kind of like, bad business. So yes, absolutely. But then I even started this project called, I forget what it's called, but it was like a retirement.
Go ahead, keep going.
It was like a retirement album. I decided to do this whole mashup of like I was gonna retire, and me and my partner at the time, his name is Paul Mason. Shout out to you, Paul. Me and him, I was telling him, I was like, man, I'm gonna make this gonna be my last album. And we created like an album, a series called Bicycle Bars, part of Volume 1, Volume 2. And then I was like, this is my way out of it. So I kind of created myself a way out in my psyche, because I was obsessed with this music stuff. It ran my life, relationships, stuff like that. I was that dedicated, like my dad was to the military. You see what I'm saying? So I was trying to get out of it. I was trying to wean myself off it, but like weaning yourself off of cigarettes. Yeah. I'm trying to really get out. Like I was explaining to you earlier. I was trying to, and then I found a way, and it was just like, other things happened. Success happened in my family, and that kind of helped me break, from that a little bit. But I decided that I didn't want to do that. I'd rather get behind the scenes, knowing I could still get on a 16 and, trash you if I have to, or go compete with you, compete with the best. You know what I mean? So, or I can just fall back and do what an OG does, and that's lend hands behind the scenes and try to pay it forward. You know what I mean? That's what I really wanted to do, is help pay it forward.
Oh, that's dope.
So that's what that's what I'm doing now, low key.
Yeah. Let me ask you real quick: was being a rapper as expensive back then as it is today?
Yes.
As far as the investment in your career.
Yes, it was very, okay, so now you have the internet, you have everything. You can print out, You got the AI where you can make your CD covers now yourself. It is
True. Yeah.
back when we was doing it. You had to go buy your CDs and go run up to New York, West 28th, shout out to West 28th Street. All y'all know Manhattan, you know what I'm saying? And you get the fake, you know, not the fake CDs, but the dummy CDs, like the whole case of 1,000 for like $20.
Right.
You know what I mean? And then you go buy you a burner. They got like 15 burners on it, and you just burn all night. If you was insane like we was insane, bro. We didn't go to sleep. It was nonstop. It was like, nah, we got a purpose. We're gonna serve this purpose, and we just kept burning. And then, but that cost you money. That DVD, that burner was like $1,200 back then. You know what I mean? But I knew how to play it. I knew how to do certain things because when I went to certain studios, I already knew that the engineers, they were the smart ones. They were the ones that knew how to do everything on the computer. And I'm like, so bro, you already know how to do this. Why don't you make the joint? You know, we don't even have to. You know, you put two heads together. We don't have to go out and buy. You know what I mean? Let's put together. Come on, me and you together. Let's put in. All right. You know what I mean? So I started doing business like that. But all in all, yeah.
Gotcha.
Yeah.
All right, so I remember it was a point in time you was going by the moniker Burnt Man. Was that a rap name? Or what was that about? How did you get that name?
Okay, so for those that don't know, I am a burn survivor. I was involved in a seriously near fatal explosion at my job in 2010. I was in a coma for a while and basically blew my face off. I had dread then, blew everything off. I was in a coma for 9 days in Johns Hopkins for 2.5 months. And it was a traumatic experience, but my daughter one day, she, you know, walking around the way I looked, it was horrid, it was horrific, you know what I'm saying? So for her, I think she was playing around one day and she said, Burnt Man, Burnt Man. So I'm like, you know, so what I did was, me being still trying to get away from the music and the market and all of that, but it's sticking with me. I'm like, okay, I know I'm messed up. At this point, looking like Freddy Krueger, straight like Spawn. You know what I mean? Not even gonna lie to you. I don't know if you've ever seen any of the pictures, but Spawn, you know what I'm saying? So I'm just like, I'm gonna embrace it. This is what I can do, I can embrace it. Let me embrace it. It was the mindset immediately. Immediately after I woke up from my coma, I knew it was bad, didn't know what I looked like. It was just that motivation, that ambition that I had previously. It was on 10 now. I already knew. The good Lord said, hey, you gonna live, my man. So you know what I mean? I'm running with it.
So what kind of explosion was it? What kind of job did you have? And how, like, what was that? What happened there?
Well, so I was working at a company, they're a paint company, and I was making aluminum paint. Okay. And one day I came in, and after working there, you had to work there a year prior, because you had to work 6 or 7 days a week to prove yourself. And they kind of sort of had to like vote you in. So after my first 9 months of working 7 days straight, I'm burnt out, I get laid off. I never thought I would like a job like this. I'm an office type dude. But just so happened, went to sleep one day, woke up the next day, I was there 9 months and made it through. They ended up calling me back like about 3 months later, and I came in, it was like April the 26th. All the fellas was welcoming me back and everything. April 28th. I came in, it was my 3rd day back, and my boss told me at 7 o'clock, he said, hey Mike, everyone, you know what I mean, thinks that, you know, you should come on full time. So what I was making per hour, I was going double that following Monday. And he told me this at 7 o'clock, and everyone was just basically like happy for me. I got on, I proved myself, I'm happy. 18 minutes later, 7:18, boom, boom, the whole building. So basically what happened is I was wearing, I was a temp. So when you're a temp, you have your own clothing, you have your own stuff. They have their own clothing. And for me, I was wearing my own clothing that day, and I ran out the house and I grabbed this nylon jacket. I never ever wear this jacket. I never wear this jacket. And I just picked it up, threw it on, ran outside, jumped in the car, started the job. 7:18, and then when all this actually happened, when the explosion happened, is basically so you can understand my jacket, my dreads, and the jacket caused like a static combustion, and basically it blew me back 30 feet. as I was making paint, it dealt with a lot of chemicals. I was mixing chemicals together, and I'm pushing the paint bucket towards this hole in the ground. The hole in the ground is, the can is about 250 pounds. So you gotta drag it across a metal, it's like a steel grate underneath it. So what's that causing as you're dragging it? You know what I mean? It's causing friction.
Right.
My dreads are touching the jacket.
Right.
So you know how when you're pumping your gas and you open up your gas cap and you see that little wave? Picture that coming up from a big vat. There's a hole and it's mixing. Ooh, it's going like that, mixing chemicals. And I gotta push this can of aluminum paint, clay, over it, and I gotta bang it out. Get it all out with a big hammer. Bang, bang, bang. It's dropping like 15 feet down. As soon as I did that, the first can, as soon as I did that, I just looked over and I said, oh, and I just saw it. I saw it coming. So I just grabbed the can and just bang, man. Bang, blew me up and then exploded again about 15 feet in the air and blew me back this way. So it was like basically 2 explosions. And then, yeah, it's a lot more to it there. It's a long, that's a long story right there, but I survived it.
That's deep, bro. I'm glad you survived, man. Yeah, you got a lot of strong will, man.
Yeah.
To jump up out of that, you know what I'm saying?
Yeah. No, thank God, man. Thank God. I mean, myself, that's cool, but this right here is, you know, I'm working on a book as well. That's coming out too. That's going to be coming. It's been a work in progress for 14 years now. So the chapters keep changing.
Right.
So, but it's coming.
Hell yeah. All right, man. Speaking of family, dog, why don't you tell the people who your son is?
My son is Kai Demetrius Christopher Foose.
Say it again when I wipe your mouth. Don't be modest, nigga.
No, Demetrius Christopher Foose. That's my son.
And AKA?
AKA my son.
Stop playing.
My son is Little Skies.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay. And we not gonna tell this story. We not gonna hop on Little Skies, but we gotta touch on because it's an awesome story. So you know, it's a very inspirational, especially to this area. You know what I'm saying? So I got like 2 questions I want to ask you. Out of all the artists you've been around and that you've seen, what is it like having a son that actually did what millions of young black white men are trying and aspiring to do? What is it like to have that person be your son? Watch your son do what everybody's trying to do. What has that been like? What is that like?
I don't know how. Okay, so on this journey, like we knew he was gonna do it. He knew. It was in his head 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, all the way up until there wasn't no other way. So when he signed, it was like, for me, it was like, I remember I was sitting in the house and I'm just like, and I'm thinking to myself like, all right, now the real work comes. And that's what he was thinking too. This is cool and all. That was the dream. You know, for me, that was it. Right there, it was it.
Hey, stop right there. I gotta stop.
Yeah.
You just said once he got signed, now the real work starts. Right?
Absolutely.
Hey, I tell the aspiring artists that once you get that deal, what does that entail? Because a lot of artists believe that once you get signed, that's when you can kick your feet up, right? And get money, and get jewelry, party, shit like that.
Yeah.
What does the work entail?
Well, I mean, you mean as far as what it entails to get there to that point?
After you sign.
Oh, well, it depends on you. It depends on your situation, who you are. But for us, or for me, what I always taught my son is that, you know, it's a life that we studied. We studied all his life. We really actually studied what that life could be like and dreamed about it and felt it and really tried our best to be in it. And so it wasn't no surprise. So it was just like getting used to the turns and the jabs, block, okay, you know what I mean? Put your arm there, all right, you know what I mean? It's just that, I mean, it's like you're gonna go into it knowing that you're gonna get screwed at some point. Something's gonna happen because it just happens in this industry. So, but I ain't gonna lie, I fell back a lot. I fell back completely and let that be him and his management. And the reason is because it was like, all right, I've been your manager all your life. It caused problems. Cause problems. You gotta realize you got a son still. You know what I'm saying? Like, and that son is watching you be his manager a lot, and he needs you as a dad. So for me, it was like the problems that it created with us. I put that on hold, knowing that he was gonna do what he was gonna do. But I just wanted to fall back after that, like just completely that be you. I'm your dad now. I'm here for you if you need to holler. But I mean, I'm proud. At the end of the day, you can't stop me from being proud. And I'm so proud of him because it was like, we knew you were gonna do it, but man, I'm looking at him, he looked at like, man, this is real. You see, like this is real. We both knew, but it's like the work begins. But still, you gotta slap yourself sometimes. You know what I mean? Like, man, it's crazy. It's crazy. Yeah, in a good way, And it's all about how you take it too, man. You let it go to your head, you let it do stuff like that. I think it sours it. But if you actually lived it your whole life, because it was lived. It wasn't no every other day with him and us. It wasn't no, we're gonna take off here, or posting that, I don't know about my life. No, you keep that off the MySpace at the time. You know. What? PlayStation, what? No, what? Go out, do what? No, studio. It's like, so it was a lifestyle. It was actually lived. So it's kind of hard to be like, hey, like everyone else is like, yeah, you know? But for him, I'm happy because he can support his family that he has now too. So, yeah.
That's what it is. All right, so speaking of that, man, what advice would you give young artists coming up in 2024?
To be you and to write a 16 a day.
Mm. That's it.
And memorize it.
Yeah.
Be you, write a 16 a day, and memorize it.
Yeah. Okay.
And if you're wondering why, it's because you could be you this day and age. I can't really give no advice because anything works. Anything works. So I think if you just be you now, and if you continue to work on your craft, you're gonna always be ready. And that was the secret to ours. Mm. I watched the interview one time when Jay-Z sat there and they asked him, you got any advice for the young artists coming up, what you just asked me? And he's like, yeah, there's 16 a day. And you know what they did? They sat there and was quiet, just like it was. And then when I heard that, though, it hit me in all types of ways, like, because I was already working hard, but, you know, that's how he memorized his craft. He already had 200 verses ready. I got a gun bar, I got a gun verse, I got a love you verse, I got a kill 30 people on one track verse, I got a, you know what I mean? It's a rock verse, I got this. You just stay prepared, man. Stay ready to work. Always be prepared and be yourself. That's the biggest thing.
Absolutely. Hey, man, so last month I was on your podcast.
Yes, sir.
Tell us about the Roaches podcast.
Yeah, shout out to my partner first, Dirty Phil. Shout out to you, my man. So the Roaches podcast is basically, this was an idea I had about, it was an album I was getting ready to come out with, which we're still gonna do it. I came out with a little 4-track EP. It was just basically like a little smoke joint. All of his weed songs or whatever. And I called it Roaches. And I didn't name any of the tracks. I just put Roach 1, Roach 2, Roach 3, thinking about roaches in an ashtray. And I made the cover like that, I made the cover like that. And I just tried to, you know, create something, roaches, you know what I mean? And then I started thinking like, and I want to do a podcast called Roaches. And how we can make it different is, you know, you basically, you know, you light the blunt, you introduce what type of weed you're smoking on that podcast every episode. Different types of strains, explain it a little bit, and then you roll the blunt, you smoke, talk till the blunt goes out, basically. And then, you know, you're down to the roaches. And then we have our random roaches, which was created by Dirty Phil, which was dope. He's like, yo, let's have a section in there what we call random roaches, where you just write down, scenarios, and you roll them up and put them in the ashtray. And then when that time comes, you shake it up, let the guest pick the first one, pull it out, Trump or, Harris, and you explain why, and you debate it, get past it, and you do another one. It's like the best part of it, because there's some wild stuff. It's crazy, and it get deep sometimes. You know what I mean? So, but yeah, it's just a outlet for people that we feel like that we know that have put in time, put in work. They have a great background. They have accolades, and we want to. It's not even so much about that too. We're actually going to be getting in contact with the new generation as well, and help promote them as well. But we wanted to basically give you your roach pack. It's like your flowers, man. We want you to be recognized. That's what it's about. I've worked with everybody around, all the older, our generation more or less. I've worked with just about everybody that were doing something in our era, putting out stuff, like really trying, investing money. Those are the people I kept myself around, you know what I mean? So the artists out here, so, but yeah.
Where can the people find that? Find the Roaches Podcast.
Oh, you can go to the Mike Skies page, but right now it's kind of like it's just Dirty Phil and I. So I want to get that point clear too, because a lot of people are like, yo, your team, that team, I know you got, how much you guys paying and all this and da-da-da-da. But it's just me and Dirty Phil doing it. And Dirty Phil does most of the technical work, and I do like the marketing, but we're gonna be having it on, we do have a YouTube channel, the Roaches channel, but we haven't had them uploaded yet. We just hit 13,000 subscribers, so yeah, we just gotta upload it. We gotta get it on track. It's gonna pop, but it's just gonna take a little bit of time. But you can go on my Mike Skies Facebook page for right now. That's where it's at, period. We're just trying to grow that page up. Then we're gonna do the Instagram, we're gonna do all that and get everything set, so yeah. And shout out to the Stuzium too, man. You know what I'm saying? It's a nice little setup out there, man. And shout out to Dirty Phil. He's been working on that for about what, 13 years to get it like that. You was down there. You saw it. Very nostalgic. Yeah.
Hey man, tell the people where they can find you.
You can check me out again on my Mike Skies page, my Mike Skies Burton page, my Skies 301 page is the Instagram, the IG, and I think it's Mike Skies 301 on my Snap. I don't know. I don't be doing half of that stuff, man. But yeah, just do Mike Skies and YouTube. You could do, like Mike Skies or Mike Skies Burton. You can check me out.
Hey man, I appreciate you coming through. It's been a pleasure and an honor having you here.
Yes, sir. Likewise, man. Likewise, my man. Likewise.
All right.
Yes, sir.
See you out of here.
All right, my man. Salute.